Shalom, 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 shalom. Shalom. All right. Shalom, we are the Hebrew Israelites who come here week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, also known as the United Snakes of America. All right. The land on which we stand, and that land is quickly deteriorating. Anyway, first and foremost, and as always, we face the east. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim HaKadosh. Give honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops, great millstone, even the elders that came before them and taught us the truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. All right. Shalom and shalom and shalom and salutations to you all. You're not fighting a spiritual fight. You're losing a spiritual fight. All right. And everything at this point is spiritual, and everything at this point is a fight. You're on the battlefield and you're a soldier, and if you're not fighting, you're losing the fight. It's just that simple. So, how do you fight a spiritual fight? Right? If you're losing a spiritual battle, right? How do you recover from that? You're the only one that could get yourself out of that, all right? So let's talk about that. Because all you have left in this life is a spiritual battle, a spiritual fight, okay? And you're in the middle of it. And guess what? If you don't know that, you're losing the spiritual fight. Okay, so, how do you recover? All right, first understand, sometimes you're going to lose in the spirit. If you don't know, or if you're not actively fighting, when you wake up in the morning, guess what you're fighting? When you go to bed, you're fighting. You wake up, I'm fighting. I'm in the middle of the fight. If you don't know that, you're getting your ass kicked. So understand that you have to fight in order to win. Otherwise, you're getting your ass kicked. Because you're in the fight whether you want to be or not. Anyway, you have to learn how to take a spiritual ass whooping and then what? Get back up. So in order to get back up, you have to make the make the determination that you're getting your ass kicked. Reassess the situation and regroup. Got winning to do. You can't win unless you know you're rooted and grounded, right? And you're steadfast, and you got to know. Sometimes you're not always going to win in the spirit. There's some really strong demons out there. All right, so get all right, it's a lot. So anyway, you have to be in the fight. You have to understand you're in a fight. Okay. You have to understand you have to fight or you're losing. You have to fight to win. All right. Not only do you have to fight, you have to endure until the end. So it's a continuous fight when you wake up in the morning. Okay. It's a spiritual fight. How do you fight a spiritual fight? You're not always going to win. You get that ass whooped sometimes. You wake up defeated sometimes because you lost in your sleep. You lost a spiritual fight in your sleep. You're not always going to win. What matters is how you pick yourself back up and continue to fight. This is what matters. These are the lessons. What are the lessons? Endurance. Okay? Why? Of course you're going to get your ass. Most High's not dealing with you if you're not getting your ass whooped. So that's not going nowhere. Understand that, oh, I got to take an ass whooping and recover. How you recover? How do you recover? Make the determination, well, I'm not winning this one, right? Losing this. How do you recover? Humble yourself. Okay, you go back, humble yourself. Number one, what is pleasing to the Most High? Seek what is pleasing to the Most High. How do you recover from a spiritual ass whooping? You have to right the ship. How do you right the ship? Go back to the laws, go back to the commandments, go back to order. Humble yourself. Humble yourself and get your ass back in order. How do you recover from a spiritual ass kicking? Because you're going to take a few. To recover from a spiritual ass is to know that you have to recover. And there's to recover. Recovery is an art form. Just like being the leader of a band. When you set out to be the leader of a band, you must first understand what it means to be a great sideman. When you have mastered the art of a sideman, then you could go out and show your sideman what he needs in order to back you so that you can be this guy. Anyway, that's long wisdom, anyway, that most youngsters don't understand. But it's about, working together and, things of that sort. Anyway, you got to know when you're losing. Otherwise, guess what? You're arrogant and you're proud. Got to know when you're losing. You could be whooping ass and getting your ass kicked at the same time. If you don't understand that concept, all you got to do is go watch White Men Can't Jump, and it explains the whole thing in there. For niggas that need short bus help in the helmet, okay? Go watch White Men Can't Jump. Rosie Perez puts it in a way that you'll understand, trust me. Anyway, sometimes when you win, you really lose, okay? Anyway, so it's a spiritual battle. You could kill a motherfucker. Guess what? You're going to do time, stupid. I killed him right there on the street. Yeah, you did. You won, right? No. All right? Anyway. So I hope I gave the salute properly. This is Ezekiel 3:17. I don't know why that came up. I was going somewhere else, but here we are. Here comes the warning, right? And bear with me. I'm coming off of this CV, I guess. It's the book of Ezekiel. 3 and 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. That's not even what I wanted, but that's what came up in the spirit. Now, what did I want? Not sure. Isaiah 33:6 is what was supposed to go on. Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge. Because what are we looking for? How do you recover from that spiritual ass whooping? Okay. First, you got to determine that you're getting your ass kicked in the spirit, right? Which might happen. You got to prepare for that. All right. Oh, shit. First, oh, shit. This is a big one right here. I need to see, because this is what's left on the home stretch, right? Being deceived. That's a demon whooping your ass. Okay. Pain is a demon. Knowing, here come these demons. Hunger is a demon. Right? Fire is a spirit. Knowing these things, okay? Going back to what? Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength is salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Understanding how the Most High works. Balance, okay? Fear, which is respect, okay? And what is pleasing to the Most High. How do you heal yourself? Okay, well, healing is the opposite of fucking sickness. So you know how to get sick. Well, how do you heal yourself? How do you bring yourself to a higher level of spiritual consciousness so that you don't get sick? Right? What is that? In the spirit. So you're not always going to win the spiritual battle, and when it's time to recover, how do you recover? You got to make the determination, and then do what? You got to get grounded. How do you do that? Humble yourself, number one. Get yourself back in order. How? Hit the precepts. Hit the milk. Go back to the milk. This is how you recover from a spiritual ass whooping. And you better get ready, understanding that, oh, it's a spiritual fight and you're not going to win all of them. Okay? To press forward winning is to know sometimes you're going to be on the ropes. And then what? Oh, shit, what now? Right? You're being bombarded by niggas talking about the new covenant and and Esau can be saved, and these are demons, right? And here they come, strong ones, right? Waiting for the end. Here we are. So you're going to be challenged in the spirit, and you're not always going to be, running around 100%. Again, I'm getting up off of a demon CV. Right? And how do you get that that demon out of your system? There's a strong one. You think this devil ain't got some more shit coming? That falls under pestilence. These things that are coming. Right? These plagues that if you let them get the better of you, what should you be doing to get this CV? Prayer, fast, herbs, prayer. Tea, herbs, prayer. Okay. So there are answers, and you better know what they are and apply them. Okay. So anyway, there's the foundation. Anyway, so how to recover from a spiritual ass whooping. My very first thought is this: humble yourself. Okay, why? Boy, death, the stench of death, that's coming. We ain't even got there. We ain't even got to the smell of death. One dead body. You're going to remember when you smell your first dead body. We ain't even got there yet. What's coming? Dead bodies en masse. That's coming. Got to walk through that. Get yourself ready. Okay? Humble yourself. How? Get ready for dead bodies. Right? People you know. Oh, shit. Nigga. You're out here offending the prophets. And we're about to see the result of that. People you know that talk shit. that are doomed, and you know it, and you're going to see them, and you're going to smell that stench popping up off of them, and them flies, as though it was a Mogadishu type food campaign. You know. Now we know how the motherfuckers be scamming. Anyway, point is the truth, all right? And about what Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to do, not only to our enemies, right? Starting with those that, the circumcision, if you will, those that should know better. But yeah. How do you recover from a spiritual fight that you're not winning? Okay? I ain't gonna lose no spiritual fight. Okay, all right. Prideful nigga. All right. We gonna see. We gonna see. The demon get the best of you. You don't know what the hell you're gonna do until you do it, so you better pray. You better get some Lord Willings in there, right? With some humility. See? See how that works? First thing you do is you just, without thinking. Well, what's the first one? What are your defenses anyway? What is a prideful nigga doing in the truth? You understand? Prideful nigga is weak. You know why? Because he doesn't know how to use his weapons. You know what? Humility. How do you win a spiritual fight? Humility. Just be humble. Number one. This guy, Friar Tuck, right? Who the hell is Friar Tuck anyway? That's who I think of. When you Robin Hood, this big old guy who wouldn't hurt nobody because he's humble until he had to whoop somebody's ass. I think of Friar Tuck right away. Whatever that means. The book of James 1. And it's the spirit. James 1 and 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Okay? What does that mean? What does it mean to endure? Okay? It implies that you're going to get your ass kicked. Now, what is a spiritual ass whooping? Right? That you're going to have to endure. Well, see, a nigga believes that he's got it all figured out in his head until you smell that first corpse, right? Now, when you put that smell together with persecution, hardship, I'm hungry, these other demons, right? For example, Esau is not thinking. In Esau's head, he already won the Civil War. I'm going to just take my AR and I'm going to blah, 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 blah. He's not thinking about what happened in ancient Egypt. Okay? The ancient Egyptians thought that they were going to just run over Jake, right? But what happened was they weren't able to because the Most High was plaguing their minds, right? With fucking hardship, right? On top of everything else they had to endure, the Most High piled on some shit, right? And look, I'm gonna just put the strife of a Negro on you out of nowhere that you can't handle. And niggas been doing this, niggas deal. I'm gonna put the strife of a Negro or of a slave on an Egyptian. Suddenly you have the anguish of spirit that are on these people suddenly out of nowhere. Let's see how you deal with it. Now go whip their ass. No, you can't even think about a fight, let alone deal with the gravity of being a nigga. Okay? They don't understand that. It's time for the Civil War. Now, but you're a nigga too. Now get out there and handle your business. And you don't know anything about being a nigga. They didn't factor that little part in there. See? Motherfucker think he got it all figured out. Oh yeah, we can round niggas up like we did once upon a time. Put them right back in the cotton field, and it might be slow going, and we have to kill a lot of people and some violent justice, but we'll get there. Oh. If you have any idea what is about to go on, understand this. It's all about what? Corpses. The stench of death and how you can endure that. Endure this. The stench of death times the horse's bridle or whatever you can imagine. Just get ready to, deal with being hungry and everything else. And guess what? That smell that's reminding you of your mama is dead there. Okay? That shit ain't going nowhere. Put all of that together. All right? So like James 1:12. All right? Blessed is the man that endureth temptation. For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. All right? So what's being said here? You gotta endure death, nigga. What's the larger story of Yahushua that, Jesus died on the cross? No, nigga. They killed him for what he believed in. Right? They bear false witness against him, and they do like they do niggas today out here on the open range. That's the larger story. So get ready for that. That's what it means to bear your cross. Get ready to go get beaten right before you get hung. And if you're not in that spirit, man, then you're playing the wrong game. It's just that simple. You know why? Because here comes this devil, knowing that he hath but a short time to do what? To string you up. They been done started that. When you go and you read the story of Yahushua verbatim, it speaks of him being lynched. But nobody's going to come out and say that. What does it mean to bear your cross? Well, if you read the story verbatim, it says that right before they lynched Yahushua, they beat the shit out of him. What they've been doing right here in Babylon the Great. Going back, that's tradition right here. And nobody's saying that. All right. Now, why am I saying it? Because that's the example. If you can start right there, it's what it means to humble yourself, right? Get your ass ready to get the shit beat out of you right before you get lynched. And that's picking up your cross and following Yahushua. That's what we're doing. To be able to say these things. Okay? and there are promises and perks to it and all of that, but right now we're on the battlefield. Worry about those things later. Hell, you might make it through this. This is what it means to endure until the end. Again, James 1 and 12. Blessed is the man that endureth. Why is he blessed? Endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. All we got to think about is what has been promised. A win is a win. How was Shai beat death? What does that mean? What does it mean that he beat death? Here's what it means that he beat death. Okay? Because niggas don't know. Here's what it means. I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid of the threat of death that you got over me. I defeated that. I'm not afraid to get completely beat down and tortured right before you fucking hang the shit out of me. I'm not afraid of it. That's what it means that he beat death. So if you start there, guess what? You beat death. What happened because he died? He's the example. Pick up your cross. Start there. What does it mean to humble yourself? Get ready to get beat up. And then you win big time. This is how it works. What other example do you need? And it's easy to say that, yeah. But guess what? This is what we signed up for. At the highest level, right? And saying it is easy. And, let me tell you something. At this point, not too much more breaking you can do of this old carcass right here. So fuck it. I don't give a fuck at this point. But, I mean, again, it's easier said than done. But Lord willing, when it's time to be the brothers in the Maccabean heroic story, then goddamn it, it's time to go out swinging, right? And try to be of that spirit. Might be you. The stories might be about you. You made it this far. You might as well go out swinging. And wake up one day and them stories were about you. Right, I speak as an old man, right, gray now. What do you got left? You're gonna swing twice, they can grab you up and begin to torture the fuck. Hey, here's what the fuck it is. Here's what it is. Because if I get spiritual power, that's part of it too. Lord willing, that's part of it too. Some of us gonna get it. And they'll think twice about who they can go try to grab. So, we made it this far. What do? Well, might lose a couple of spiritual battles. So get ready for that. Be prudent, look well to your going. Right? If you're a one-man camp, be extra diligent. All right? St. James 5 and 11. Behold, count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy, but of all things, my brethren. That's good right there. Okay? But enduring, being patient. Patient meaning suffer patiently. What does it mean? What's the example? Yeah. You're gonna have to take some torture. Shit, you could be walking and knee just go all out and you're in sudden pain and say, hey, stranger to pain. And if a little crazy Edomite with a little black bag comes out, right? And it is what it is. That's a temptation that the Most High is going to put you through. Understand, go through your Go through the milk, take a big old drink of milk, and understand he ain't gonna put you through nothing that you can't handle. Might get banged up, but hey, you're gonna be all right. And be looking for that way to escape. See, there's a protocol to everything. This is where that belief comes in, and faith is a gift. You better hope you got it. Again, St. James 5:11, behold, we count them happy which endure. Here's that thing again. So, guess what? We got to endure niggas being outright demons, which I have to say I'm an expert at because I endured a whole demon for about 12 years and did myself a disservice. But anyway, here we are, and it's good training. Okay? Good training at the very least. So. Lock it for talking. At the end, baby, what do you do at the end? You rely on that milk. All right? You hold on to that milk. The book of St. Matthew 5:10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Right? Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before. What does that mean? That means that you're no stranger to this. Okay? You're no stranger to dying for this cause. You understand? So just do what comes natural. Right? And here's what should come natural. Humble yourself. Right? These are your defenses, your defense mechanisms. Why wouldn't you use them? Here's how you win fight. Humble myself and get my house in order and do what is pleasing to Yahweh Shem. These are your superhero strengths. This is how you obtain mercy. This is how you are forgiven. Right? This is what I learned. I got kicked out of GMS and it wasn't my fault, and everybody else was wrong except for me. And that might have been the truth, but that's not the way how to handle it. How do you handle it? You humble yourself and get your ass in order. That's what I learned. And then it comes back in the end. If you just know how to humble yourself and get your ass back in order, everything's going to be all right. But if you don't know how to do that, you have no weapons, you have no defense mechanisms, and when you get your ass kicked in the spirit, guess what? There's no getting up for you. You're done. And you're not going to endure. You got to know how to endure. Okay? I got kicked out of GMS. I don't know how many years I was out before, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I was restored through the elder apostle. The elder apostle used a video. He reposted a video of mine. And when things like that happen, for me, that's the spirit answering my humble request for a sign, like I'm an adulterous, a wicked and adulterous generation, because they require a sign. But you know, sometimes you worry, and you should, that, you know, while you're checking yourself, you're like this, damn, I hope I ain't fucking up, you know. And then you go and you do maintenance and you humble yourself, you get in there and you go, well, I'm just, you know. And then something like that happens. The elder apostle uses, you know, he basically approves your work, the work that came through you, you know. But that's a sign, right, that you're doing something right. And so what you did right is you humbled yourself, right, and put yourself back in order. And the point is this, is that's what you got to do. Got to be able to determine that you got your ass kicked in the spirit. I handled that wrong. Right? Even though you might have been justified and somebody's bearing false witness and you didn't take it on, like, I handled that one wrong. So, how you win a spiritual fight and how you lose is you're going to lose sometimes. Okay? You're not always going to win. And how you pick yourself up after you know that you lost. Oh, I lost that one. That demon got me. Right? You don't think you ever lose. You lost. So, and we ain't even, again, you ain't smelled no dead bodies yet, so understand where it's going. Add dead bodies to your woes and the stench of death. Add that to, you know, I got 99 problems, right? Add that up. I got 99 problems, but a stench ain't one at this point. When the smell of death is compounded and you have no choice but to inhale on some ring around the rosy shit. Okay? Now you got all 100 problems with the stench. That's coming. Who's ready? No, you're not. Because you don't know how to lose a spiritual fight. You don't know how to get back up and endure. Okay? You don't understand that you're going to lose some and how to get your ass back up when you do lose. Okay? Bringing this into focus. This is Matthew 24 and 13. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be the what? Who is the same? Well, that would be the elect. Guess what? The elect knows how to get up after getting their ass kicked in the spirit. Lord willing, you know, I'm of that ilk. How do you recover? Milk. Isaiah 33 and 6. Ezekiel 3 and 17. You go straight back to the milk and build yourself back up in the spirit. Right? And then the brotherhood, of course, right? But here I am, I'm speaking from that solitary, that soldier. And hey, again, I look to the elder apostle, my big brother. You understand? I'm doing something wrong. I'm like, oh, the elder apostle's watching me. So humble yourself and hope for the best and do what the hell you're supposed to be doing. Make sure that you know your videos, right? Just be consistent, if anything else. Do what you can. I'm like this. Well, what am I good at? Well, be good at being consistent. Don't ever miss a day. Do that. All right, be good at that. And then hopefully the videos will get better and you know the spirit will help and jump on you and da-da-da-da. But just do a video every day and don't, you know, find something that you're good at. Well, I'm good at doing what I say I'm gonna do. And motherfucker, if you ever miss doing one video, you better be thinking about the stench of death. All right. So anyway, I don't know. Trying to be a good soldier of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. Meaning you're gonna smell some dead bodies. Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Matthew 24:21. For them shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So the stench of death is going to be worse than it at any other time during World War I, during World War II, the Great Potato Famine of 1939. And I don't know when it was, but John Travolta said that shit in what's it? Welcome Back, Kotter one day, if I remember correctly, so I said it again. Anyway, we'll go ahead and close the camp because where it is, I thought I'd be able to do better. My eyes are getting heavy, probably because of it's burning. St. Matthew 24:22, and except those days should be short, and there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be short. We are watching days come and go. We are at the end of days. People don't understand how to measure the time diligently in and of itself. If you don't understand the significance of World War III, how close we are, what's going on in Venezuela. All right, if you don't understand that World War III long started, and anybody doing business on the Western Hemisphere, guess what? That cargo belongs to those of the West, because World War III has long been in effect, and the rules of war. You say, oh, they can't do in wartime. Yes, you can. Here's what you're not understanding, especially maritime admiralty. Where are we within the laws of maritime admiralty in the, what do they call it, South Pacific, or you understand, or the Caribbean, anywhere in those waters that we call ours over here? What are the rules, not on land, but on sea, at this point in time? If you understand that, World War III has already began, and you're playing by those rules. What are we seeing with these boats being blown up? What is that? That's World War III, them playing by the rules of World War III. What is the taking of this oil? That's World War III, and America playing by the rules of World War III. That it hasn't been announced to us. This is why that looks like, oh, they can't do that. That's against the law. It's within every law while you're in the middle of World War III. So those are the things that have to be calculated into the framework of what's left regarding measuring thou the time diligently in itself, if that makes any sense. You got to know where the war is. What do you see happening? Well, they're smuggling drugs. It's not about smuggling drugs. This is about everything belongs to us. The drugs, the oil, you're in our waters, you're in our territory. You're trying to do business coming out of what belongs to us. Now, those oil refineries in China, those oil refineries in Venezuela that China created, And from what I understand, that was Iranian oil in that oil tanker. Where is this going? Where's that going? If that oil belongs to Iran, where's that? Iran is ready to strike. Iran could strike, theoretically, on American soil with the people that they have embedded, which I know nothing of, and I don't give a damn, but, I mean, who's not here ready to launch an attack? Right? Everybody is, but they're worried about the men of the Lord who, right, are fighting with the book. Anyway, we're here to endure until the end. All right? The days are short. Right? False prophets are about. How close are we to it? Hey, we're real close. You're gonna start forcing this seed. Shit's gonna speed up. Things gonna speed up. Right? And we're gonna do what it is that we do. Anyways, with that, you're in the middle of a spiritual battle. If you don't know it, you're losing. How do you recover from getting your ass spiritually kicked? Humble yourself. Reorder yourself. Get your grounding. What is your grounding? Isaiah 33:6. Stay grounded on your rock, Yahushua. Right? Firm foundation. Build yourself back up in the spirit with the milk. Know what you signed up for. How do you defeat death? What does it mean to defeat death? You're not afraid to die the way that Yahushua did. That's what it means to defeat. How did Yahushua die? He first was, they beat the shit out of him and they hung it. They strung him up. That's what it says in the scriptures. How did he defeat it? He wasn't afraid of all of it. He went through it. Pick up your cross. This is what they don't want to hear. Ecclesiastes 13. What is it? 12 and 13. Salaki. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Philippians 2 and 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Fear, 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 which is respect. All right, so with that, all right, we hope that the elect edify you, brothers and few sisters. All right. Yep. Yep. With that, all right, we can say, Double honors to the other apostles and other bishops of great and stone, even the elders that came before them and taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful, like Tabernacle with David. All right, shalom. Shalom.